A long time ago, a farmer named Kwame lived in the village of Wuba. Wuba was a place of rich tradition, where elders passed down ancient stories and the people lived in harmony with nature. Among the villagers, it was known that strange things often happened in Wuba. Some said it was because of the spirits that watched over the land. Kwame lived with his daughter, Adisa, in a small hut near the edge of the village. Though not wealthy, they had a small farm that provided enough to live comfortably. Kwame was known for his honesty and kindness, and Adisa was as wise as beautiful. But their lives were about to take a mysterious turn. One day, while working in the fields, Kwame found an unusually large calabash growing near a stream that had appeared after a season of heavy rains. It was unlike any calabash he had ever seen, round, smooth and gleaming in the sunlight. Kwame thought it would make a perfect vessel for carrying water and decided to take it home. That evening, after carving out the inside of the calabash, Kwame placed it by the door of his hut and went to bed. But as the moon rose high in the sky, something strange happened. Kwame woke up to the sound of a voice. It wasn't coming from outside, it was coming from the calabash.
Kwame.
Startled, Kwame sat up, his heart pounding.
Who's there?
He called out, but there was no response. The next morning, Kwame dismissed the incident, thinking it must have been a dream. But Adisa, who had heard the same voice, warned her father.
Father, something is wrong with that calabash. We should take it back to where you found it.
Despite Adisa's warnings, Kwame decided to keep the calabash. That night, the voice returned, clearer and louder. This time it spoke in full sentences.
Kwame, I am the spirit of the calabash. I was trapped in this vessel long ago by the elders of your village. If you help free me, I will make you the richest man in Wuba.
Enticed by the promise of wealth, he asked.
How do I free you?
The spirit replied.
Take me to the sacred tree in the forest at midnight. Break me there and I will grant you riches beyond your imagination.
The temptation was strong. Kwame had lived a life of modesty, but the idea of riches made his heart race. He agreed to the spirit's request, despite Adisa's growing concerns. Troubled by the presence of the calabash, Adisa went to the village elders the following day. The eldest of them, Baba Jomo, listened carefully as she recounted what had happened. "Ah," child Baba Jomo sighed. "You are wise to come. The calabash you speak of contains not a spirit of wealth, but a spirit of greed and deception. It is said that many years ago, a greedy merchant was cursed by the ancestors for cheating the people of Wuba. His spirit was trapped in the calabash, and only those who seek wealth without honor will hear his voice." Baba Jomo instructed Adisa to convince her father not to follow the spirit's demands. Tell him that true riches come from hard work and integrity, not from promises of easy wealth, he warned. That night, Kwame made his way to the sacred tree with the calabash. Adisa followed in secret, hoping to stop him. As Kwame approached the tree, the spirit spoke again.
Break the calabash, Kwame, and your fortune will be made.
Just as Kwame raised the calabash to smash it against a stone, Adisa stepped forward.
Father! Stop, she cried. This spirit will bring only ruin, not riches. The elders have warned us that the spirit inside seeks to deceive. Please trust in the work of your hands, not the lies of a trapped soul.
Kwame hesitated, but the spirit's voice grew desperate.
Don't listen to her. She wants to keep you poor. Break the calabash now and become wealthy.
But Kwame, seeing the fear and wisdom in his daughter's eyes, lowered the calabash.
I trust my daughter, he said softly. I will not trade my integrity for false promises.
Suddenly, the calabash shook violently and split open. A dark, swirling mist emerged. The spirit was shaped like a man, his face twisted in anger and greed.
You fool.
The spirit roared.
You could have had everything, but you chose nothing.
But as the spirit reached out to curse Kwame, a powerful gust of wind swept through the trees, carrying the sound of drums and chanting from the village. The ancestors, called by Kwame's act of integrity, intervened. The spirit howled as it was pulled back into the calabash, which then shattered into dust. From that day on, Kwame's farm flourished. The rains came at the right time, and his crops grew strong and plentiful. Though he never became the richest man in Wuba in terms of gold. The story of the talking calabash teaches that true riches come from hard work, integrity, and wisdom, not from greed or the promise of easy wealth. Those who listen to their heart and remain true to themselves will always find prosperity in life, even if it is not gold.